You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bridge After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bridge After Show.
Hey guys, and welcome to The Bridge After Show. All I have to say is, Gus! I'm still upset about last week. I'm still upset. But guys, joining me this week, Tommy Rasera.
Hello.
And the lovely Paige Sullivan.
Hi, everyone.
And guys, I'm Dave Klein, and I don't know, things kind of winded down a bit after last week's intensity.
A lot of, yeah, they really reeled it in this episode. I feel like all the drama is gone. It's weird for the episode prior to the finale. I just expect more out of it.
Yeah, like as we were saying, last episode felt a little bit more finale-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that they even continued past that episode.
Yeah, it was weird because it was like without David Tate, without Goose, I mean, it was kind of missing that.
The oomph.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's like more of them trying to now set up for a second season. I think that's what this is all about now.
which I understand, but we had two like solid episodes off of not talking about Eva or Stephen Linder or even really Daniel Fry that much or Charlotte. We didn't see those characters for more than like one or two scenes
Right.
for 2 weeks, and now it's like we're just back to now it's all about them and their lives, and it's just weird. We were so invested in this Goose thing, and now I don't even have the energy in me after last episode to be.
We're still in mourning.
We're still
we're in mourning. We're Marco.
There was a lot of.
That was a
Stephen
terrible
Linder.
moment of silence.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I didn't know we were actually doing.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, good.
But yeah, let's go ahead and jump though. Talk about where they're at quickly right afterwards, and we've got Sonya at the mechanic because her car got messed up last episode, or her car's just messed up, and she's upset because the mechanic wants to junk her car. So she's not a happy camper. It has her mixtape, 1990 mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
best summer ever.
Yeah, she's clinging on to the sentimental value of the Bronco, which I totally understand with his sister. So I mean, it's hard to let go of that.
It's hard, but Hank's always there to remind her. He says, "It's a car, it's not her." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good. Hank was there for her too.
Yeah, so
she does get the tape out though.
She takes the tape and her dream catcher.
And the dream catcher, yeah. So the tape in flying colors there.
I like seeing her kind of have those emotional moments, though, her being sad and saying goodbye, and then she reels it in so quickly, and then she's like, I miss Marco. And then she goes into the Marco car.
No, I agree. It's nice to see her show emotions now, and that she's a little more emotional. And it's nice, too, to see her like actually caring about Marco, and she has someone else now, finally, that she cares about. But speaking of Marco, she goes over to Marco's place to say hi to him, and he's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
After
It's very grizzly looking.
Very grizzly.
So, yeah, he hasn't shaved at all, has a full beard going on. He
Bedside tequila
in Gus's room Goose's room.
He's like, I've been drunk and I've been asleep. I'm not one of those people, but like, how do you drink and then wake up and drink and then go to bed drink? Like, how does one function?
Takes a lot of effort.
Like, I know when most people are hungover, the thought of having tequila or beer would make them sick. But Marco's just like popping one open, just tossing it back.
Well, I think I don't know, a lot of alcoholics, that's what you do to fight the hangover is you drink more, so you're not hungover anymore.
And I guess he's not an alcoholic, he's just like a temporary alcoholic.
Right,
temporary. For the time being, in mourning. Maybe it's one of those things he just doesn't want to feel anything.
Yeah.
So.
He wakes up after the first 10 seconds. He's upset, so starts drinking again.
That's really sad.
Well, I mean, where is Alma? I know we know.
She left.
But where? Where did she go?
She's probably living with her family. She's probably in Juarez with her family.
I just assume she just left.
I just don't like the fact that she's taking the kids too. And not. I assume she's not giving him access to his children.
Yeah.
From the way he's speaking, which makes me sad because I think when your parents are divorced or anything like that, you need both parents. And Goose even says you weren't around a lot when I was a kid because I'm assuming because his parents weren't together.
Yeah,
but I think so. He probably like cut them out too. He's like, I don't want. He cut out Sonya. He probably just cut off everything.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems a bit self-inflicted. Ryan Wilson saying that he looked a little Grizzly Adams there.
Yeah,
Just
he
a little
did.
bit. Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't look bad though.
No, and he cleaned up real quick. So,
All he needed was a razor. I mean, and a
Well-
shower maybe.
and also his hair. He got his hair cut.
Do you think he got his hair cut?
Well, it looked like he did. It looked
I
like
don't
his
know.
hair was.
I didn't know if he was one of those guys who just like combs it back. Like,
Oh, well, maybe.
who knows? Who knows?
But another storyline that we have that finally came back after a while. I mean, I guess it was sort of going on, but we have Daniel Fry, and he's, as we knew, he's survived, and now he's in the hospital with Adriana, who's taking care of him in the wheelchair.
Yeah, but she keeps telling him to man up. She's like, you can push your own wheelchair. And
Yeah.
he's sulking. Not as badly as Marco, obviously, but he's sulking. But I like that he said, when I was going over that bridge, I wanted to live. I thought, please don't let me die, which is nice to hear from him, where he's always been kind of, self-inflicting and an alcoholic, obviously. You would think at that point maybe he would have been like, finally, like, this is all over.
Yeah.
But I think he realized this is my chance to kind of do better.
That guilt really didn't last of taking that job and then leading to all those things that happened.
No. I mean, somebody still died, and he doesn't. That's the sad thing. Is like Marco died. Not Marco. Goose died, but it doesn't really affect anyone else but Marco.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess in a sense, though, I mean, he didn't directly kill anyone. I mean, it was a kind of a mistake on his part. I mean, it's hard to blame yourself for that in a sense.
No,
Yeah.
it's hard to, but I feel like in a situation like that, it's almost impossible not to blame
Yeah,
yourself and
'cause
think of
you-
how you could have changed things.
Right, no, I agree, because you feel like you're the pebble that started everything.
I mean, because that's how Marco feels. That's how Daniel Fry, obviously, he broke down at one point and said, I'm the reason those people are dead on the bridge.
I guess maybe he feels like he got shot and fell off of a bridge.
So,
maybe
he's
Yeah, I mean,
cleared.
maybe he feels like he got what was coming to him.
He's
in
cleared.
pretty good shape though for that fall. Still, I still, even though it's a month later, I still think
Yeah.
he
He's looking too good
Is
for
he-
falling off a bridge.
Yeah, it looked like his face was a little disheveled.
Yeah, but even it was just like I expected worse out of
Yeah.
his appearance after that fall. But hey.
Daniel Fry is immune to many things.
he is.
Well, I mean, he drinks a lot, so his body probably
Except
didn't
for
even
withdrawal.
feel it.
Yeah.
he probably hit the water and was like, "All right."
I feel just fine. But he ends up staying with Adriana or her family, at least presumably, or at least he's hanging
think
out
he was
with them.
visiting,
They're
yeah.
visiting, and they're having fun until the mom brings up the real stuff.
First off, her mom, she acts like this godly woman saying, "Oh, you can't be a lesbian because it's against the church and you need to find God." But then at the same time, she has no problem saying you don't want to marry someone you have to wheel around your whole life. It's like, that's not what God would say.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not even very religious, but you learn in church to be kind to everybody and treat everybody nicely, even if they're in a wheelchair.
Not in the church of Adriana's mom.
Apparently not. It's just funny to me that she says, "Don't marry him. He's in a wheelchair, but you need to go see the priest because you're a lesbian."
Right.
It's like, okay,
Well, they cure that,
they can cure that.
Yeah, totally.
I love how she's like, it's not, and they're acting like Daniela, the sister, is so naive and doesn't know what a lesbian is and all of these things. They're like, I don't want her to know. I don't want her to know.
Yeah,
and she's
so
like,
she's old enough.
she looks like 17.
Yeah,
It's-
she looks, definitely.
and she's working at a factory where girls are being basically abducted, as we
factory's
find out.
not a good place to work at. I don't think. I
No,
wouldn't-
so
But now they've got that guapo man working in the factory. Definitely not
well, I'll
abducting
say my
people.
prediction for that. I'll keep my little thought to myself, but I think it is scary that she's working at that place because
Yeah.
obviously it's maybe not the best environment. She's young, and she just said she got the later shift.
the late shift.
El
at the,
Guapo.
I'm a little worried for Daniela.
When she first said that, I actually almost thought she was lying. She was ditching out or something like that. That was my first instinct when she first mentioned that.
Yeah, but then she seems so genuine. She's-
Right, about
yeah,
El Guapo.
El
So
Guapo.
that's why I'm going to refer to him as El Guapo.
the cute guy.
El Guapo. But yeah, so it's kind of a, I don't know, interesting fight though to me that it's true. I mean, like Adriana's mom, I'm sure a lot of families have this sort of issue, but Adriana's paying for the family essentially. And she's the only one who didn't get knocked up right away and have a kid. And she actually got a good job and she's paying for things. And as she says, her mom's not complaining about that part, only the fact of how she lives her life.
Yeah, but so if I were her, I'd just walk out and be like, okay, pay your own
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah.
Pay your own bills if you don't like the way I do things.
Paige is family.
I don't care.
It's too familiar.
No, I know, but it's, and I see, because if she takes that money away, she's taking it away from her sisters. She's not just taking it away
Yeah.
from her mother. But that's a hard rock to be put in, and I like that the bridge is kind of addressing something like that
Yeah.
because it's all about murder and girls and prostitution, and this is just a simple thing that everybody can relate to.
I do like how the Adriana family has kind of adopted Daniel Fry though. Either
Yeah.
way. He's kinda-
Yeah, so yeah, it
They
seems
like
like
him.
that.
I think he's the funny American.
Yeah, he definitely is. Like, what is still the American?
Do you think how did he get out? Like, after she left, I wish they would have shown how he got out of there.
Yeah, no, I was like, now he's gonna have to wheel home. He's gonna have to wheel back to Mexico.
He elbows. He doesn't have his hands, so he uses his elbows.
He has one hand.
Yeah.
I just have to steer with the other.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Isn't that
Like,
how
or-
it works? I don't know. I'm not good with
But
that.
Ryan Whittleson saying that, agreeing with you that a little worried about the younger sister,
I'm very
Daniela.
worried.
So totally agreeing with you on that page. So Paige. So speaking of characters we haven't seen in a long time, Charlotte's back,
Yeah.
Oh, Charlotte.
and
Ah.
somehow she has arranged a meeting with Fausto. I'm not sure how, and they decided to meet at a circus practice.
Honestly, I think Caesar's the middleman.
I was just about to
I
say,
bet
Caesar-
he arranged
Yeah,
it.
that's a good point.
But how did did she even know Fausto before?
Yes, she saw him dragging the dead body through.
Oh, that's
remember?
right.
And he I think he tipped his
Yeah,
hat or he
that's
said,
right.
I want
he
to meet
said
with Fausto.
something, and she was like, "Dead body in my tunnel." Yeah.
The circus practice. That definitely an interesting place for a meeting.
Yeah, very random, but I guess
Very
good place than
random.
any.
But he's Fausto, so he can do whatever.
Enjoy watching circus practice, but
They
yeah.
were throwing things at them.
Yeah, so Fausto at first kind of implying this sexual intent with Charlotte, and then afterwards, it more seemed like it was a threat than anything
scare
else. Not really-
tactic,
yeah, scare
yeah.
tactic. But it seemed like Charlotte would be totally down for the sex part. She
I
didn't
think so
complain.
too. I mean, she
She looked willing.
did. She did look a little freaked out, but I mean, come on. Look at the guys. Look at her past resume here.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like I was all for Team Charlotte the first few episodes, and I'm like, maybe she kind of is a bit of a whore.
No, not even that. She's just not a good person. Like, you're willing to use this tunnel for.
Yeah, because at first
Bad
she was so
things?
against it and afraid of it.
Mhm.
Now she's like, whatever. Nah, I'm gonna use it for money and all
She
that.
broke
She's killing
bad.
people,
She
yeah,
she broke bad. Last
Broke
episode
bad.
coming up.
But she did, seriously. It's like you watch all these shows where they're like, "Oh, I'm this good person," and then something happens, and they just.
Yeah, you kill your first person, and that's it from
Well,
there.
I think
That's
she was.
it.
Oh, I think she was always. I think like we talked about it last week. She was always bad. We just.
Didn't see
see
her.
that.
Well, we didn't know her,
Yeah.
but her husband wanted to divorce her. So.
But yeah, it's funny though, because like at first I was always like against the daughter. I was like, come on, Charlotte's not
Mhm.
that bad. Give her a chance. I'm like, I was wrong. Charlotte's not that good.
I wonder if the daughter will come back.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
maybe.
I don't know. I don't see her coming back. I feel like she took it for all she could. Got her money, and she's.
Well, who knows? But this week is
Walking
everybody
away.
popping up.
I know. Kate could be back. Anybody could be back.
Yeah, rewinding a little bit, just supposed to kind of getting what you were saying, Paige, that some people, no matter male or female, can only take so much before they walk out with the whole
Family
situation. And I mean, I agree with that. I was just playing a little devil's advocate
devil's
there.
advocate.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Charlotte, she definitely is completely broken bad at this point, and it's just like,
So what is she gonna do now?
I
So
don't-
what is 5 kilos of drugs?
Yeah,
going
is she?
through?
I mean, is that they transport 5 kilos, or maybe does she get 5 kilos as
no,
payment?
it sounds
what's
like they
the-
transfer 5 kilos,
And
and
then
she
she
gets
gets
15% of
paid.
the profit from the
Mm.
5 kilos.
Got it.
Mhm.
I think that's what the deal is.
How much is that? How much is 5 kilos?
Well,
That's a
I
lot,
would
right?
tell you, but that would make me look like I really know. No,
I have no
It's a
idea.
true question.
yeah.
I feel like
Hey,
it must be a lot.
People in the chat, do you know?
Do you know how much 5
5
kilos?
kilos.
How much does 5 kilos make you these
Are we
days?
assuming it's cocaine?
Yeah, it's probably cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine.
Or is it heroin? I mean, what? Also for the
Any of you
I
know?
I don't know.
what's
What's the
coming in from
biggest
Juarez?
export from Juarez? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm not happy with her. I don't,
No.
even, I don't even care about her anymore, to be honest. Like, I could do without Charlotte.
Yeah, but yeah.
She's
Yeah,
not.
it's
She doesn't seem
sad.
like a good person.
It's sad to me because as a character in the beginning of the season, I actually did
I
like.
liked her too.
at
I liked
first.
her.
And it kind of is now the point I agree with you. I'm just like, whatever, Charlotte. She's a bad character, and she's another bad guy. It's like almost everyone in the show is becoming like just
A
bad
bad
people.
guy. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And I mean, I guess I don't know, I'm still conflicted about Marco because I'm like, I mean, I like you, but the whole cheating thing makes me just not like you in general. So
Yeah, I
still,
mean,
I will never get over it.
I'm getting the trust back from Marco. My thing, we were talking, like, we were big Goose fans. Like, he was that one reoccurring character who wasn't the main character that you could still love and
Goose.
hold on to.
You really get fine.
Who do we have now, though?
Hank.
Hank, I do like
Hank,
Hank.
kinda
It's
Hank
alright.
way.
I do like
in a
Hank.
stupid
Yeah,
kind of way.
he's like that nice fatherly figure.
Yeah.
Like, pal guy. He'll
Yeah.
bring you
Or
forward.
Cooper. Where was Cooper this week?
Yeah, where's Coop?
We haven't seen Cooper in a
Coop
while.
is still depressed about
Well, he
the
was
random cop who died.
Yeah, he was supposed to be taking a little bit of a leave.
Yeah.
So maybe
Well, I
he's
think
doing that.
a lot of it though with this episode, it's a month past. So like, so much as water. I mean, not water in their bridge, but so much is just kind of like had
Gone
time to
on.
settle, and
Yeah.
no one's all keyed up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Joseph Boza saying that he thinks that Charlotte's gonna be one of the cases that Sonia and Marco have to solve in season 2.
Or you think she's gonna be killed?
And Charlotte, all right, well, probably like a drug case,
Oh.
then I would assume. I don't know, just suppose. What do you think? But Ryan Wilson saying Charlotte's making really bad choices. She won't be walking away from Fausto. Very possible, but
Probably not. Maybe she'll become the new Graciela,
Yeah, she'll be the new Graciela,
but not as.
Yeah.
but not as long of legs in the car.
Yeah.
To say if you watch our previous
I've
episodes.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. That whole scene just blew my mind. Like, that's real.
So let's go on with I guess the main plot line, which would be Stephen Linder. So we come back again after a couple weeks break to Stephen Linder, who has all of a sudden after this dream apparently decided that means that him and Eva were meant to be. So he goes to Bob's palace of runaways of girls, and apparently she has run away from the runaway place. So now
ran right back to Juarez, which
ran right back
I
to the
don't
factory.
Not smart.
get.
I mean,
But no, okay. Well, but the last time that Stephen was there, he told her that her ex-boyfriend was gone or like non-issue anymore. Didn't he? Didn't he tell her that he was dead?
Yeah.
So maybe now she thinks it's safe. She left Mexico to get away from him.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So maybe she went back because, you know. And I don't like how Stephen Linder at one point, this is jumping ahead a bit, says she's somebody who's kind of alone in life. No, she needed to get away from this guy. I'm still sure she has family and friends in Juarez.
Yeah, she could. But I mean, who knows? Because apparently she does know anyone in Juarez because she had to catch a ride and she was going to like Colombia, I think.
No, that was her town, like wherever she Colonias or something.
Colombia's kind of far from Juarez.
Yeah, Colombia is far
She's
from
going to
Juarez.
Colombia for
But-
real
but
cocaine deals.
But she missed the bus. I mean, she's leaving work, so she must just take the bus every day.
At
And it
least she
just,
doesn't have the shitty night shift that.
yeah, Daniela has.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's too bad because she would have been with El Guapo.
Oh, guapo.
El Guapo. But yeah, so basically, she's wandered off. So Linder now shows up at Sonia's door, asking Sonya for help, and Sonya decides that she'll help Steven out on a whim. And
This is
goes,
after he did a little bit of research himself. He went to the factory.
right.
Weirds me out how he knew where she worked.
Yeah.
How did he get
well, that's
that
what he does.
info?
That's his thing.
Yeah, it's just,
No, his thing is getting from that other woman. That woman sets the stuff up for him, and then he
Yeah.
gets them. This he just found out where she was. I don't know whether to be like, oh, it's cute. Stephen Linder really cares about her, or it's like weird. They've met twice, and now he's so infatuated with her, calls her his bride, and is willing to search day and night for her.
It's funny. I was wondering while I was watching. I'm like, well, I guess he's not really an anti-hero because I mean, in a sense, you could think like he's not really a good guy, but he's not.
He's
that's
not a
not
bad
a bad guy.
guy.
Not a bad guy. He's just
a
a weird
He's just
guy.
a weird guy.
But he's kind of being heroic, but his intentions are for this girl who has, as far as we know, zero feelings for him
To marry him.
to marry him. So
I did. I mean, you mentioned like his Spanish speaking was quite
yeah,
quite clear.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
it's funny,
have
we
the
were watching-
Stephen Linder.
yeah, like he has such a weird voice, like that gargle voice when he's talking in English, but when he speaks in Spanish, he speaks with a pretty normal
It
accent.
seems very eloquent when he speaks in Spanish.
But my thought was probably just the actor for whatever reason couldn't pull off the voice when he was doing the Spanish lines.
Maybe.
That's what I think.
I don't know. I mean, anyways, it's like he's constantly talking with his mouth shut.
Yeah,
It's just like barely opening his mouth.
that's actually how I host.
But it's just like it's very funny though. I would prefer him to speak in Spanish because
Yeah.
it just sounds a lot easier.
I thought Sonya was gonna say, "Can you say it in Spanish?" I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do this a little better.
Maybe that's why him and Ava are meant to be, so he can speak Spanish to her, and then he'll
Yeah.
actually be able to speak the language of love.
Maybe. I didn't know that was the language.
It's
of
not the
love.
language.
I was
Of,
gonna
it's
say,
no,
isn't that
it's the
French?
language
It
of
is in
amor.
Linder's world.
Yeah, in Linder's world. For him, it is because he can actually speak in that. But I think Sonya kind of almost. I was surprised that. I guess I wasn't surprised for the sake of it being a show, but the fact that Sonya was so willing to be like, all right, let me go check out your trailer, and just like
Maybe I mean things have slowed down in the El Paso PD since
Yeah.
David Tate has
yeah,
has been arrested.
She's interested. I think maybe she sees that Steven's a little off like her.
and Steven just saying my bride is missing is the way he brings it up. Also kind of weird.
I love how she's like, why did you call her your bride if she's not your bride? Like, I don't get it. And
Yeah.
She's like, well, you see, I intend for her to be my bride. She doesn't know it yet.
Ryan Wilson saying that he thinks that English must be a second language to Stephen
I was
Linder.
gonna say the
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, that might be it.
But I liked Sonya being smart though when she was at the trailer and before she goes inside, even though it seemed pretty safe at that point, asking him to step back. And I mean, it was a moment of like her being like, "All right, I'm gonna do this," but the fact that she just wasn't like the fact that there was that moment of acknowledgement of her being a cop and saying step back, and like some shows wouldn't, I think, have that detail.
There was a small part of me though that was like, maybe he's just gonna rush in there and shut the door. Somebody was gonna be in there. I knew it was gonna happen, but there was that little bit of creepiness that
was a thought. It's like never go in the trailer with the man, but at the same time, we already know Stephen Linder pretty well, so we know he doesn't do
but
that.
You never know.
But I'm surprised, more so, not that
Charlotte.
she did it, that Hank's on board with her covering this
Yeah.
case. That's what I'm more
I guess
surprised
you said
about.
slow day at El Paso.
Well, because I guess the plates on the car were from Texas, so technically they have some interest in this case.
Yeah.
And so now they just need
Yeah, because at first he's not buying it until she says the plates were from Texas, and I was like, all right. I think for him, though, I felt almost more like the connection to Juarez and Marco was more of the reason he agreed to it, because he just wanted to see...
Marco?
Well, maybe Marco, but also more just Sonya being happy, because it's the one person she seems to actually care about now. And also, that fatherly thing of like, okay, go get Marco back.
But also, Stephen Linder was kind of a part of the last case, so you know, they tie together a bit.
Yeah.
It's all about the bigger story here. It's all about the bigger picture of the corruption in Juarez. But
I found it interesting that Stephen even wanted police help in the first place.
Well, he thinks that it'll be helpful.
Yeah, but still, it seemed like his character, just from what I gather, was the type of character who would never go to the police.
I don't
just
know.
from what I picked up from this character.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I didn't get that from him.
Yeah.
Is what he's doing, is that technically illegal? Because he says it is.
She says it's, she's like, you're right, it's not illegal. But
Right,
is
but
it?
isn't he transferring people from Juarez to
Mexico.
That's illegal.
I mean, back to
right,
Texas.
back to Texas, which would be illegally transporting someone across the border.
Yeah, that's
Or
pretty
is
illegal, I
his-
think.
Which is illegal.
Yeah.
Unless, like, maybe that, like, Spanish mission place that we saw with Bob is actually in Mexico.
Yeah, or like maybe his trailer is even in Mexico and it's
Yeah.
not.
I think it's.
I don't know.
Because when they were
I think
searching,
it's America because they
when
did come across the bridge.
But here's the here's the thing to note, though, is we do get the answer as to why he was burning the clothes, which is that he was burning the clothes so it would make the girls more untraceable.
Yeah.
So there we get that answer.
And he said he has food and water and medical supplies, and he's a very prepared man.
it was a pretty nice, creepy on the outside, that trailer, but on the inside it was
Yeah, no, I had all the water.
Comfortable.
Yeah,
But it was
everything.
the first time we met it. It was terrifying. Ava's in there. He locks her in there and
Yeah.
doesn't say anything to her. You know, he was just like, "I'll be back."
No, he was more like.
It was like Sling Blade or
I
something.
don't have it. Sorry, guys.
You just have to close your mouth more.
I know. Apparently.
How did this
Say it in
Linder voice?
Spanish.
Yeah, say it in Spanish. That'll be completely clear. But so then from Ava's storyline, we get some more from her, which is that she is escorted to a prison cell from a cop.
Well, first off, she got in the car.
Right, she got him.
Well, did she know? I mean, hold on though. Did we know if
Ava.
she know the dude?
Well, that's the thing. I have a prediction for who he is, but that's just me.
Are you waiting for the predictions to tell
I mean,
us?
I won't actually. I mean, it's just a prediction. I think the El Guapo is the guy in the car.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it was
that
her
makes sense.
manager.
I think
he
El
asked.
Guapo.
Because he asked, and she just got in. So.
Yeah, because she trusts El Guapo because it's her boss.
And the police probably pay him well, and
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think it's probably El Guapo.
I do, and just because
I'm glad this name caught on.
Yeah, but I don't think they would have had Daniela bring attention to that person, like talk about that guy, unless that's who it was.
Yeah,
and I don't think she would have even been talking about her new shift or any of that if he wasn't directly tied to what just went down.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's El Guapo who was in the car, and that's why she ended up doing it. She's like,
Yeah.
you know what? I know him, so fine.
And also, it'll keep Fry and Adriana in the loop. If this sounds awful, but if something's to happen to Daniela, that keeps them
Yeah.
attached to this case.
I think it
keeps
sounds
them
awful. It sounds like
relevant.
It sounds like writing, like
Yeah,
script writing.
But they're relevant,
Yeah.
you know.
well, they're not afraid to kill teenagers apparently.
No.
No.
Come on.
Goose.
And that other girl.
And that other
Earlier this
girl.
season.
And that other girl. What?
Gina.
Whatever. She was like a runaway, and she was a bad kid, and then she was dumb and jumped out of the restroom, and I don't care about her.
I do.
I'm over her.
Gina, I care.
I don't.
If you were still alive, you'd be our
I don't care
favorite
about
character.
you.
Yeah, I might like her. Hey, her parents sucked.
Okay. So Ava got in the car and she's escorted by, presumably, as we think, El Guapo to the prison cell where she's just locked away.
Well,
What
no,
she got to be thinking of the
She went to a hospital. Somebody said something about a hospital. The cop did to her.
Well, I missed the part. What he said a reason for it. What was it though? Like, you're here because.
Well, he said something about like you got out of that hospital. I think that guy I don't, because she was already beaten up when they got to
Right.
the police station, and then the cop was like, I think she went there, maybe it's not, the guy abducted her from work, right?
Right.
Raped her, did whatever, like beat her. She went to the hospital and then went to report it to the police, and now the police are taking advantage of her in this way. This might be like far stretched, but I just didn't see a link between
Right.
those two.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just figured, I don't know, they just kind of beat her when she got to the prison.
It might have been that. It might have.
The cops just beat her and threw her in the cell. And
But
all
she
that.
seemed super calm when she was with that cop
Yeah, that's true.
initially.
Maybe. I mean,
But I think she was just almost out of it, like, what is happening, and she felt, defenseless.
maybe this is something that's happened before, though. I mean, because even at the party, I know she was drugged, but it seems like maybe this is just something that they do all the time.
Yeah, they bring a girl
Not
in.
that you're used to it, but like it's just, oh shit, this is. Or, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what
Well,
the
it's
whole.
definitely something that cops do all the time, and we definitely picked that up from the dialogue
Yeah.
we got later. But I mean, more of like she seemed overly calm. I agree. Like
She seemed because
maybe she was already drugged at that point.
well, that's why I'm thinking she was either drugged or she was coming to them for help for whatever happened to her, and now they're taking advantage of the fact that she is a girl who's just been.
So Ryan Willison's saying that she said something about being held for 3 days to the cop before he threw her into the cell.
Yeah, see,
So I
I think
guess
she was
there you
going to the
go.
cops.
Yeah.
I think she was held for 3 days. She went to the hospital, and then she went to the cops.
And Stephen Linder should have just waited for Stephen Linder to be your knight in shining armor.
This poor Ava girl can't catch a break.
Yeah,
No,
she can't.
seriously,
she
she can't
cannot
catch a break
catch
at
a
all.
break.
Don't go back to Juarez. That's
Exactly.
That's what. After those posters that we saw that you showed,
was
that we kind of
morbid.
just over.
Yeah.
Just so sad. There were so many faces on that wall. I don't know. People were laughing, walking by, ordering food on the
There's the
sidewalk.
food stand right in front of
with,
there.
yeah, with all of these girls' faces behind you.
I think, like I said while we were watching, but I think it just ends up being white noise when you live there because it's just something you just see every day and you just get used to it.
It's yeah.
And you just have to live with it. I mean, it's like you're not going to want to stop every day of your life, look at it, and get depressed. You just learn to live with it.
It's also like Sonya, we didn't mention yet, but when she goes to the bar to see Marco and bring him home and stuff, she says, well, there's a missing girl. He goes, oh, God, no. In Juarez? Really? He's like, come on, this happens every day.
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I'm glad she went to the bar.
Sonya?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's so Sonya ends up at the bar with Marco, and Marco, I don't know, how does she know what bar to go to?
I don't
but
know.
Everyone's magicians in the show. But Marco totally drunk and depressed and asshole mode and everything, and but Sonya's just totally willing to stick with it.
And he lets her in.
Yeah, he doesn't end up letting her in after she like confesses to him that he's basically all she has now at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's
even though
her
she has
partner.
Hank, but yeah.
I think down to that. I think the Broncos scene was kind of the catalyst because she knew what she went through, and then she knew she had to be there for Marco no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I agree that that she it's kind of to her, she feels like she understands this loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and
Even though she hasn't had a son, she lost the only thing that mattered to her in her life.
Right, and so I know obviously Marco's in a lot of pain, so it's hard for him to consider her feelings, but when he says, you don't have a kid, you don't know what it's like to lose them. But at the same time, he knows she went through a very traumatic thing with her sister. So I think when she really breaks down his walls, that he finally comes to like the conclusion she's trying to help, and she helps him.
Yeah, I mean, I think just for him, he's just completely in defensive mode. Don't let anybody in. So I mean,
But then he wakes up the next morning like, all right, I'm up. We're eating eggs. We're shaving our face.
it was all about the eggs. I mean, I think at the end of the day, eggs do a lot of things.
And that
for you.
Trader Joe's hot sauce that was also.
Yeah, the Trader Joe's hot sauce. I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either. That's so funny. And also, Sonya tells him to make his bed, which was the one thing
Yeah.
that Hank's wife made her do every day after her
Yeah,
sister
so
died.
she says, I have that there's one rule that Hank's wife had for her, which is wake up and make your bread or make
your bread.
Make your bread. Wake up and make your bed because just you have to start your day, and that was the one rule is to start your day. So I actually think that was a nice thing out of this episode. Was
Yeah,
that
I
line
liked
that came
that.
through. That was a good. I'm sure that's a good lesson for anyone going through something traumatic.
Yeah, no, I do agree.
So no matter what it is, I mean, be it something small or big, that's just a good thing. Is just wake up, start your day, and just another day and get
Take
through
it day by day, people.
Marco like
day.
switched it off though. I
Yeah,
mean, he was,
seriously.
Yeah, that was a quick recovery. I mean, I
Very.
know he had a month of mourning, but that was still like really quick, especially like completely shaved. completely
Hair
fine
hair
haircut.
combed or haircut? Yeah.
I think.
Do you think
haircut.
Sonya had
I think
shaved into the
haircut.
haircut?
No.
Yeah, Sonya's actually a professional
Well, the
hair
thing
artist.
is, think about people, when they have that, like, epiphany, though. He thought, this is it. I have to go on. I have to keep doing things. And so that's what he does. You
Yeah.
know, when you have that, it's like when people quit smoking, they're like, I'm done, and one day they quit, or anything along those lines.
Yeah, but it was good. Like right when he's like eating eggs, he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go to the office. Do you want to come with?" And then to go check out this Ava case. So
Yeah.
they end up at the office, and they end up going there, and they search into Ava, and it's the secretary who looks for them, and there's no case of Ava there, no record of Ava at the moment.
Yeah, but you can tell there's something about it because the captain, he's concerned about it. Afterwards, he brings Celia, I think that's her name,
Yeah.
into the office, and he's kind of concerned.
But I
as
mean,
to
this
why
is
Sonya's
before
there.
that night, though. This is before that whole night happened, though. Which is
No, she was already in jail.
Well, she was in jail, but this is before that night with the cops.
Oh, it's before the night with the cops, but I'm sure Celia's seen this with multiple girls.
Right.
So she saw Ava come in, I'm assuming prior to Sonia and Marco,
Yeah.
and knew what was probably going to happen to her,
Yeah.
but still couldn't tell them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So she's stuck in this not great situation.
But the boss comes over to Marco and kind of almost in a way, I guess sort of tempts him, just saying it's too bad that David Tate isn't our prison because
We'd kill him.
we take care of him. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Marco is agreeing at this point. Like, and
He is.
He's just like, yes.
He's agreeing, but when we were watching it, I said, he's going to die. Because I wasn't sure, but they've said that Texas has a death penalty, so he killed many, many people. I can only
Right.
assume he's going to get the death penalty.
However, I mean, the magician he is could get out of prison somehow.
Yeah, that's true. People just suddenly
he
disappear.
could, but you assume you get the same end result.
But
I
yeah,
thought from the next episode when we saw him getting out of the car, I thought that was him like actually
Leaving jail.
leaving or just but
Oh, like he had a big plan. He was
Yeah.
going to just break out of the cuffs like Houdini and just run away.
Yeah, because he's a magician.
He
But yeah,
is,
the
he
funny
is.
thing though is that like what I didn't get is like did they ever mention the death penalty thing in the show?
No.
Because I think you're right. I think Texas has a death penalty. I'm pretty sure. So I mean, he just mentions like when Hank is talking to Marco, trying to convince him to come testify. Marco's like, "Well, what difference does it make?" And Hank could just say, "Well, if you want him dead, your testimony will help him get the death penalty." I mean, that's the thing I want him to say.
He said something along the lines of let the justice system do its job.
Well, yeah, but he says like the whole point for Marco to do it is for Marco to get it out. So at least like he leaves some of it there and essentially leaves some of his pain there so he can sleep a little longer or like wake up, be happy a little bit longer, maybe a couple
Right.
more seconds every day.
Mhm.
So I mean that's kind of the moral that Hank tries to get out. But I mean, the testimony would help for the
Yeah.
sake of him getting in prison longer. For anything longer, Marco's testimony would really be helpful for anything.
Yeah.
If Marco wants to see bad things happen to David Tate, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Well, we don't even get to see the testimony, so.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the testimony.
I felt kind of ripped off. I could honestly a whole episode of the trial would have, I think.
Yeah, I would have been done. I would have been good with that.
Yeah, like
And David Tate's little smile though.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
yeah, we get that weird like smile nod thing, and then like you're waiting for the testimony to see what's gonna happen. They
Nothing.
robbed us of it. They robbed us of it.
But they did give us right after that. Maybe he did leave a little bit of it at the trial because the next day that's when he wakes up and he makes his bed.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the very next scene.
Yeah, so we assume that he did because right afterwards he makes his bed, as you said, and that's the whole point that that Sonya had brought up was making the bed, and we also get Ryan Wilson on the chat saying, "Yep, Texas has the death penalty. They're infamous for it." So that's
Well,
what
I assumed so.
right. I mean, I assume so. I mean, it's just.
No offense, Texas.
I'm looking at my camera right now, and there's a dog's tail wagging, which is great. Actually, I have a tail right now. I've been covering it up the whole time.
Oh gosh, it's like that movie where the guy has the tail.
Yeah, I've just got a tail. You never knew. Are you talking about Shallow Hal?
Yes, that's what I was trying to, I was racking my brain.
Are you happy I actually knew what
I
you
was
were
gonna
referencing?
say George Costanza. You know that time he had a tail.
Yeah,
Yeah, that.
I got your reference. Yeah, so Marco does apparently. You just assume Marco testified against David Tate, so this way he can make his bed the next morning. And then Celia comes to Marco's place, and this is the moment where Celia's like, "I just can't take it anymore." I saw something, and apparently Marco knows about this too. We just assume Marco hasn't been a part of this. But Marco knows everything going on.
Well, he says, depending where he's working, maybe he doesn't see necessarily the girls coming through. He sees the other side of it, the desk, and covering up the desk.
Well, I mean, he's been to the
He
boss's
knows.
house at one point, so I'm sure he
That's
knows
true.
what's going on. But we just assume, and maybe we just assume wrongly, but we assume Marco hasn't been taking part in it.
No,
But
yeah.
he knows of it, and he just doesn't say anything. So Celia seemed to trust Marco, too.
Mm-hmm.
So Celia trusts Marco as an honest cop,
Mm-hmm.
as at least as honest as they come in Ares, and she breaks to him that she saw Ava.
And now it's up to him and Sonya to find her.
Right, and we get this scene, too, of Ava drugged up and being brought to the boss's house, and she's also clearly beaten up as well.
And being raped.
So
Very uncomfortable scene.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
yeah, neither did I. It was
I mean, I
very
think the way they
uncomfortable.
it wasn't too graphic, in the sense that I couldn't watch it because of all how blurry it was and the sounds and stuff, but just knowing what was happening really didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
You have this smile on your face, not because of what we're talking about, I hope, because of
No, it's
the dog
sorry.
head.
I looked at the camera again. You can see the dog's Sparky's head is in the camera.
It's so funny. Our little AfterBuzz mascot over here.
Yeah, Sparky. So yeah, while we're talking about this horrible stuff, there's a dog for those of you listening to the podcast who's in the camera shot right now.
Yeah.
For those of you audio only, that's why that's what we're talking about. Is there's Sparky's in the camera shot. That's okay, Sparky. So after this, we get the final scene, which is Steve and Linder with the lady who kind of brought him over, and they are searching for something.
They're searching for bodies.
I'm not gonna lie though. I have no clue what how who was. I know the one lady at the wall.
That's the one who brought him there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people there, and then most of them are middle-aged to older ladies. But then there's Linder. Like it's just a bizarre.
Yeah.
I think because most of them are mothers looking for their daughters who went missing.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And honestly, I think what happens is they're killed, they're brought to this big area, and that's where they're all buried. And so they're all just hoping that they're gonna find their kid, even though they're not alive. At least they know.
What are
Yeah.
they? Were they shovels or just sticks?
No,
Like
they're
the
just
sticks?
sticks. They're just hitting to hear the sound
Hmm.
if there's a box under there.
Yeah, like a coffin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But kind of an interesting scene to end on, I think.
I know, and it was a long scene. They did that last episode too, with the long walk away with Marco,
Yeah.
and now this long scene of it's like they let you ponder and then it goes away.
But I
there was-
almost feel like they should have done something
Different.
for ending with something about Ava, where you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen with Ava? Because that seems like the case they're trying to bring up is the next thing that we're waiting for.
I know. I just felt like it was lackluster. We're an episode out from the finale, and I want to be more excited about.
Give me a cliffhanger. Or
Yeah,
something.
I want to be more
Right?
excited
Yeah, I was
about
waiting
it.
for. That's why I'm saying like something with Ava could have been a cliffhanger that they could have brought up.
Show David Tate like walking out of the prison or something.
Yeah, or like using his
Anything.
sorcery spells, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, he is a magician, and we would have known.
Yeah,
He just
anything.
teleports. Yeah, so yeah, I agree. Kind of a little lackluster on the ending there, but speaking of that, let's go ahead and move on to some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, The Bridge has been renewed for a second season. Now, I tweeted this out. Someone, actually, Ryan Willison tweeted at me, letting me know, and I gotta be honest, I'm kind of curious where they're gonna go with it, because it seemed like the whole point of the plot point for The Bridge and why you watched and tuned in was for this serial killer thing, and it got wrapped up. So I'm assuming these last couple episodes are going to be them presenting the new plot point that's going to be season 2. That's what I have to assume.
Like next week will be, the cliffhanger that
Right.
we're looking for.
I think next week's going to be a cliffhanger and we're not going to get anything resolved. It's just going to be like, well, stay tuned for season 2 to find out everything about Eva.
and Charlotte.
And Charlotte,
Steven
and, yeah.
Daniel. Yeah.
Hopefully some new characters.
And like maybe David Tate will magician himself out of prison, but I
I don't
know.
think
doubt
so,
it.
yeah.
But,
I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, I gotta assume that's what it is. But we do have a second season, so I'm kind of curious to see where they're gonna go with the next episode, because it really feels like last week's episode was kind of the big season finale and almost
Yeah.
a show finale too of everything that the show was about
Yeah.
for the most part.
We'll have to find out. I mean.
So I guess we will find out. So with that said, let's get to some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, we guess in the preview we see Marco telling Sonya what happens. So about He
Eva.
wants to keep it private, but everything about Ava and what he knows. So he's telling Sonya because he trusts her as opposed to any other cop. She's the only person that he trusts at this point.
Yeah.
So it seems that they're going to be looking into the Ava case even further, trying to find maybe she's not. I'm assuming she's not even in the cop system anymore. Maybe she's already gone.
Well, she's not in the jail anymore.
jail.
He knows that.
Right.
So we don't know where she is.
Wherever they dump her. And then Stephen Linder is still looking for her as well. But yeah. So your prediction then was that El Guapo is the
That's my
kidnapper.
prediction, was that he was the one who kidnapped, and I'm sorry to say it, I think Daniela's gonna get taken.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
What, did you?
Well, I'm just kind of curious with the whole Charlotte storyline. I'm kind of wondering where they're going to go with that. And I think that actually was kind of a good idea, where maybe season 2 is going to have to deal with maybe there's going to be a case against Charlotte, and Marco is going to get involved, and Sonya's going to get involved with that, trying to maybe catch Charlotte and catch those drug runners, or somehow that's going to get involved.
I think Ray is out. I think next week he's done.
I hope so.
I think that'll be.
I think he probably walked away. Ooh. I just got scared by a dog, people. I had a wet nose on my arm.
What's Sparky's prediction?
Sparky, what is your prediction?
That the Bridge is coming back for season 2.
Bridge is back for season number 2. So Ryan Wilson asked, saying, going to be interesting now that Marco has no family. What will he do? Not sure he's going to keep his head down, so maybe he'll be a little more reckless.
No, I hope he gets back in contact with Alma for the kid's sake.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, like, he's still a father at the end of the day,
He's still a good
even if he's
person.
not. Yeah, he's still a good person. So, sort of, other than the cheating thing.
Yeah. Besides that.
Besides that giant flaw. Shake my hand, Sparky. He wants to shake my hand. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And next week's season finale. So we were going to see where the show goes, and I'm just curious to see where they're going to be taking it, because it does seem like last week could have been the big finale. So I'm wondering where they're going to take it and how they're going to do season 2. So I think that's going to be the answers next week. I think everyone's wondering what's season 2 going to be about. So next week, I think we'll find that out. So once again, guys, I'm Dave Klein. You can find me on Twitter at @TheDaveKlein. That is Klein.
And you can find me, Paige Sullivan, at Paige So. I was going to say on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me, Thomas Rasera, at Thomas JAYR on Twitter.
And Sparky, where can we find you?
At AfterBuzz.
At
Sparky
AfterBuzz.
At
Yeah, Sparky
AfterBuzz.
at AfterBuzz. Hashtag the dog. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.